Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be re-reviewing the Studio Series 98 Voyager class Cheetor. I do not have his packaging, unfortunately. That was before I got him before I kept packaging. So let's just go straight into the figure itself. He looks pretty good. He's accurate to the concept art. However, he could be a bit more yellow than brown. But other than that, my only other complaint for the robot mode is the lack of fur detail in places. He's kind of plain in some areas. I really like the head, and it's quite detailed in the face. And I really like the shoulder pads, the knuckle dusters, and the pattern dots all over him. Accessory. Now, and he's pretty clean from the back, and this does kind of hamper articulation a bit, but we'll get to that. But overall, very solid in the looks department. Now, his accessories are these two spears that combine, and on mine are very flimsy, because for the longest time I tried to put this in the wrong way. So they're very flimsy and don't really combine. But they can go into his hands. And you can pose him out like so. So now we get into his articulation, which is fittingly pretty dynamic. Head is on a ball joint, can look up that far, down that far, can tilt and rotate a full 360 degrees. Shoulders pull full 360. The shoulder pad hinges out to allow the shoulder to go out that far. But if you bring this down and have that little piece go over it, it goes out that far, and then it goes up again to get up that far. You get a bicep rotation, single jointed bend at the elbow, that bends to 90. Wrist rotation, they're on ball joints, so you can kind of just pop them off. Nice for upgrade kits, like DNA design. You do get, if you lift that panel, you get a full 360 at the waist. Hips kick forward that far, back that far due to the sculpt. They go out to the side. Thigh rotation, single jointed bend at the knee, that bends to 90. Ankle tilt, really deep ankle tilt, and a toe bend, which isn't really useful, unfortunately, because you can't really balance on it. So other than some range in some joints, he's fairly articulated. He is very well articulated, other than the range in some joints. The range could be better, like the elbows, and especially the knees, the range could be better in. Now, size comparisons. First, we have him next to Airazor, and she is a deluxe in comparison to a Voyager, so they are not quite there in size. However, he compares much more nicely next to Rhinox. They are like at head level. Rhinox might be a little taller due to all the stuff going on behind his head, but he's also very dense. I'm very excited to review Rhinox. And, of course, Optimus Primal, who is slightly taller than Cheetor, just ever so slightly. Now we go to Cheetor's transformation. So the first thing I like to do is pop the chest, and that reveals the cheetah head. Pop that open, bring this up, straighten it out. Make sure when you're going back, you bring it back like that. The first time I ever transformed this, I had trouble getting the cheetah head in because I couldn't get it to shift down like this. I forgot how to do it. But you then collapse that, bring up the mane, fold the head in, collapse it, then bring the shoulders forward. These big old slots will go into these tabs on the sides of the neck for the cheetah mode. So there you have it. Shift this armor piece around, rotate the bicep, rotate the wrist, and hinge these claws upward, collapse the mane, and there's the front of the cheetah. All right, now we get to the back. So bring the legs down, then this peg will go into that port, the flight stand port. Bring the tail back. Now you want to rotate the thighs 180 degrees. Take this leg panel, shift it all the way up until that tab fits into that slot. Take this, it's hollow here, so collapse that, collapse this, bend this back, bend the toe, do the same thing on the other side, bang, and there you have your leopard cheetah, I'm going to call it a cheetah mode. Cheetah mode. Cheetah mode looks pretty decent. Again, could afford to be more yellow than brown, but a minor complaint. A major complaint is the tail. Well, okay, so one thing. On my camera, it shows up a lot more orange than it is in person. It's much more brownish orange in person than it is this orange that shows up on my phone camera. So, one major complaint is that the tail falls off very easily. Other than that, the cheetah mode is pretty solid. And its articulation is also pretty solid. Head rotates, can look up and down slightly. You can decapitate him if you feel so inclined. The mouth can open. Now then, so the shoulders are limited in their forwards motion due to being tabbed into that. But if you untab them and bring them out ever so slightly, then you get a lot of motion forward. And then you get motion backwards, you get your arm articulation, but with the little paw hinge. But I like to keep that pegged in, just for the sake of it. There we go. Now then, the legs, the rear legs. So you bring this up, they can go back that far. They can't really go forward. They can go out. You do kind of get a waist swivel, but it's really, really, really weird. Then you get your forward knee. You don't get any more. You get this. You get your digitigrade. And then you get a hinge here, and then your ankle tilt. So cheetah mode is not as articulated as robot mode, but that's just beast modes. Now size comparisons. Here he is next to AirRaiser, and I can't see how this looks on camera because of the position of the tripod holder. It covers that, so I'm just gonna have to hope that he's bigger. Rhinox. So Rhinox is bigger than Cheetor, I can see that. And so there's that comparison. And here is Primal standing upright. He is off screen. There you go. There is Primal standing upright. And then Primal on all fours. So there's that comparison for you. One more thing that I forgot about in robot mode, he does have dedicated weapon storage slots on his back that the spears just kind of slide into. Why am I doing this with one hand? And they work in robot mode and in beast mode. That's one thing I forgot about that I didn't put in the script. So now, let's get into some final thoughts. Overall, a pretty solid figure and a good addition to any Rise of the Beast Maximal collection. Rhinox is next weekend, and until next time, my fellow Cybertronians, goodbye. What? Oh my good lord. I didn't have those lights on this whole time. How did I manage to do that? Okay, goodbye and good night. Oh my god, that is...